We're not manifesting the richest version of us this year, right? We're meeting her. And we're not going to get there with just some stocks and all these fluffy things we talk about on the internet. No. I'm tired of hearing about this, all right? I'm so tired of this, Grandma. The hardest and most unpopular ways to get rich are the most rewarding, and they pay in more ways than one. So here's a warning. What we are talking about today ain't passive. It ain't easy. It's not popular amongst regular folk, but it is the only reason we have billionaires on this planet. Let's talk physical assets. I'm focused on getting videos out. I'm really trying, so I'm tired of breaking promises to myself. So this is not going to be edited all fancy. We just getting straight to it, all right? Straight to the money. These are the ways that the richest people on the Forbes list made their money. We have cash flowing properties, buying a business, digital products, product line, your IP. Everything we're going to talk about today does work. The real question is, will it work in your life, all right? So let's start with cash flowing property. When we think about cash flowing properties and rental properties, don't just think residential. What about commercial? Those leases are longer. It might seem a little bit more intimidating, yes, but I used to work in a real estate investment trust or a REIT, and we would have 5 to 10 year leases minimum. There's a lady that sells commercial properties on TikTok. I'm gonna put her information here. I believe she's in Chicago. So take a look at these prices. Look in your area. Can you rent out commercial buildings? Of course, there is residential real estate too, but keep in mind that that is one customer, right? In a way, if you have a commercial property, it is one customer, but hopefully they have dozens of, or if not hundreds of customers. So you have a better chance of not running out of money. And if you do not want to loan it out to these businesses, you can actually buy the businesses. Let's talk about buying businesses. A lot of these huge companies we see out here got big through acquisition. I'm tired of talking about this and people saying, why would people sell a perfectly good business? They probably aren't selling a perfectly good business, right? But it's not always so wicked and cynical, all right? I work for a company that buys businesses pretty frequently, and let me be the first to tell you, yes, people are BSing. Yes, people are committing tax fraud and calling it just letting my son use the corporate card. It's they be frauding, all right? I've seen some interesting conversations, and the people who are telling you everything is so perfect, they are the worst. So yes, it does happen. They do fraud, they do lie. But if you are diligent and you have a general understanding of what's going on with the numbers, or you hire people who know what they're doing, you can protect yourself. So if that's something that you're interested in, absolutely subscribe to my work, because I'll be getting into that in deeply. Now let's say you're like, I don't really want to do commercial properties. I don't really want to buy a business. That just seems too risky. You can start your own business, right? This is like your own IP or your own product lines. This is a lot more work. The other ones are more due diligence, more making sure people aren't lying, reviewing tax statements, reviewing documents, doing research on the area. This is more you doing research on yourself. You can start a digital product, and I really hate saying stuff like this because people are online, oh, I make $10,000 a month and I'm just sleeping and eating and making eggs and I'm having slow mornings and it's just so great. It's a lot of work to get something popping. I've had experiences selling digital products where I made $10,000 in a week, and I've had products where I didn't make $10,000 in a whole year, right? People have to see your product or interact with your brand or something 16 times before they make a purchase. Think about how often let me talk about myself. How often I would be online, going through Revolve or going through whatever website I'm going on. I'll add it to the cart. I might even proceed to checkout, and then I go about my business, right? I go on Amazon, I'm adding these things, saving it to later. It takes you about 16 times. For me, my conversions right now are a little under 2%, sometimes 1%. So if 100 people actually go to my website, maybe 1 or 2 will buy. All right, it's something serious. And with ChatGPT and things like this, it's very easy to just Google whatever it is. You can't make these little cheap half-ass ebooks anymore. So if you have something that makes sense, I have a budgeter, right? That's really, really good. You budget one time and you have the budget for an entire year. That is something that can't easily be replicated. ChatGPT cannot just make that. I had to put in the sweat equity to put that together. Make something like that. Think about things that you've done in your life to make your life easier and try to sell it into a product. But remember, you're going to be doing a lot of promotion. The thing I don't like about digital products or even your IP, and let me just get to IP real quick. So my IP has paid me hundreds of thousands of dollars. And what I mean by that is just my presence, my brand, my face. I've been on social media for about 6 years. And again, I get brand deals. I get opportunities to speak, opportunities to travel. Not that many, I need some more. But by learning how to really talk to people and engage and create community, you can create cash. As you build your voice, you build your dollar. But that's the thing. As you build your voice, as you build your brand presence, you are responsible for your money. If you feel tired, if you feel like not doing it, that's too damn bad, right? You still got to get up and get at it. And that's the problem that I am having because I've been on this thing for so long and sometimes I'm exhausted. When summertime comes, I'm barely posting. I have a hard time coming on here and talking to y'all. And YouTube is really what put me on, right? But it's just, oh my God. It requires a lot of you. I would even throw in service-based products, okay? I had accounting practice for all of 6 or 7 months and I effing hated it. I wouldn't even say 6 or 7 months. I would say 4. And the last 3, I was just not doing anything. It requires so much of your time, and then you're also sales, you're also marketing, you're also a lot of different things. So in this area, a lot of your time is being spent, and if you don't feel good, if you don't love this stuff, it will show in your work, it will show in your sales, and it'll just be this spiral going down. Just pick one. Just pick one. I am going crazy trying to be on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and that. And at one point I was on LinkedIn. Like, for what? Pick one. We only get a few units of energy every single day. I got this from the book Essentialism. Great book. Buy it. I have a link in my description. 10 units, let's say. Try to put all the units into one thing. It will propel much faster. When I abandoned YouTube and started making money on TikTok, I made more money in the first year on TikTok than I ever made in the 2 or 3 years combined on YouTube. It will pay off. Not only will you have the money, you may be able to buy yourself some freedom, pay off debt faster, give your kids or yourself a really nice vacation or nicer clothes or just a bigger savings. All right? It's that serious. We need physical assets. We need ownership, y'all. What are we owning? We can't even own the music that we buy. We can't even buy music anymore, right? You could buy a CD maybe, but now everything is streamed. What do we own? I live in Miami. There's so many rental properties right now. I look out my window, like 3. I drive down the street, more. They're not making more land. Let's buy physical things. And let's keep the leverage. Let's not give it all away to private equity. Anyways, let me get off before I start going on a tangent.